Hi, and thanks for listening. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast. So this is going out in two places. If you're listening on the podcast, you may want to check out my YouTube channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, you may want to check out the podcast so you can listen in while you're driving around or anything. So this is the first official episode. And the idea of this episode is I just want to kind of talk you through very briefly, maybe a 15-20 minute episode here, just to talk you through a workbook that you can get that kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to do here. And we'll take you through a few questions to help you set up what's important to you as you start on your year-long journey with a view to retiring in a year, which I have done. I'm your host. I am Paul Turner. Everything I talk about here is true, everything I've done. However, I cannot make income claims. Hope you appreciate that. So in that spirit, let's get stuck in. I'm going to share screen for those people on YouTube. But if not, if you're listening on the podcast, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain everything we're talking about. So if you want a copy of the workbook, first of all, head over to retireinayear.com. That's the website, retireinayear.com. I'll put the link in the show notes and in the YouTube description. And you can get this absolutely free. It's just something I put together to kind of give you like a little roadmap, if you like, of what we're going to be doing. Right, so the first thing I want to point out, listen, it's very important you understand this. Human nature, how most people are. Most people vastly underestimate what they can do in 30 days or a week or a day, but they vastly underestimate what you can accomplish in a year, in 12 months. And what I want you to do is I want you to think back over the last 12 months and the 12 months before that and the 12 months before that. What did you do that actually you were consistent at, that actually helped you reach a goal, get who you wanted to be? Certainly for most people, not a gym membership. It's certainly not for most people kind of healthy eating. It's certainly not for most people like consistently following self-development stuff. Okay, but if you consistently do something over 12 months, there is zero way that you can't get better. You have to get better. You understand that, right? So this is why it's 12 months, guys. It's kind of going to stop you looking at the shiny objects where you think you can go and you can make a major step forward. If you see something like that and you think you can, that's great, go for it. But I'm going to encourage you to stick with this plan, okay? This plan works. It's proven, right? It's proven. Again, can't make income claims. We're all different. But as you're going to go through, you can see it's very non-threatening, okay? There's 3 resources you can use, and I'm going to talk you through it. So that's the first thing. It's 12 month. It is a 12-month plan. Can you do it quicker? Oh, absolutely. Okay, but I want you to commit to 12 months. Right, so part 1, vision. We're going to go into this in future episodes. I want you to have a clear vision for what your life is going to be like if you could quit your job. And for you, it might not be quitting your job. It might be having an extra source of income. But I want you to really get clear on what your life is going to be like, okay, when you've done that. Because that is your vision. That is what is going to pull you forward. Now, the example I always use is if you are going on a long trip to go on vacation, you've probably got to put up with having inoculation jabs. You've got to find your passport. You've got to book flights and hotels and taxis and transfers and maybe coaches or whatever. Okay. You have to get to the airport early. You queue up. Okay. You have to go through customs. You have to go through security. You get on the plane. You have a long flight. You get to the other end. There's a time difference. You're very tired. But you put up with all of that. Why? Because the end result, your vacation, should be fantastic. Most people that I talk to that kind of want what I've got, like I've done it 3 times now. I've managed to get to a point where I could retire in a year, right? In 3 separate things. And I've done it 3 times. And most people that want what I have, when I talk to them, they don't have a plan. They don't have a vision. They don't have anything to follow. They certainly don't have a solid idea of what life will be like the other end. When I say to people, what do you need to make? They go, oh, I want to make 10 grand. And it's like, well, why? 10 grand, 5 grand, they're consistent numbers that come up all the time. 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month. When you ask people why, they don't know. They haven't done the math. They haven't worked out what it will cost them in rent, where they want to live when they're retired, how much they'll save on not having to commute to the job every day. They've not worked out any of this stuff. right? So they don't have the vacation dream at the end to pull them through when things go wrong. And I guarantee things will go wrong. How do I know? Because you're human, because the world works that way. I guarantee going on holiday, you might miss a flight. There'll be traffic jams. You might be running late. Okay. All sorts of things can happen, right? The air conditioning breaks. It's life. But why do you put up with it? Because the vision at the end is there for you. So that's what I want you to do. Now, in the workbook here, there's an example of a vision board that I've got. You can go on YouTube and you can check that out, but also you see it in the workbook. I'm going to encourage you to get the workbook in this episode, and again we'll cover these in detail, but there's some questions you can answer to kind of figure out what your life is going to be like when you've got to the other end. You may have picked up on the fact I'm qualified in something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It's mentioned on the website. And one of the things we really do in NLP is help people achieve their outcomes. Okay, you call them goals, we call them outcomes. We go into a lot of detail to help people work that out. So we're going to look forward to future episodes. We're going to cover that. Number 2, again, I've just mentioned, what do you need to make? I want to make 10 grand a month. Why? People don't know. Okay, so in the workbook here, if you grab that, okay, we taught you through how to work out your freedom number. Right, we're working it out on the average salary in the US, which is $49,764 a year. Okay, so we're going to break down for you how to work out your freedom number. Okay, part 3. I want you to understand the power of compounding, because here's what most people do. Again, most people that want what I have, what they tend to do is they're always on the lookout to try and make more money. I want to retire early. I need another income stream. I need a way to make enough money that I could quit my job. And because they're already busy in a job, it needs to be in a way where they don't have to put much effort in, right? Well, I've got the solution to that. Okay, it's recognized. But most people, if you think about it, if you're really busy, is trying to start up something else that is, going to make enough money for you to quit your job. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. And everybody's chasing their tail from one thing to the next, the shiny object syndrome, thinking they found the next thing that's going to make enough money for them with zero effort or little effort to actually get where they want to be. Now, the twist here is to find a way to compound the money you're already making. That is huge. That is the massive twist, right? That is the key that holds this all together. If you can find a way to multiply the money you're already making, okay, and or any extra money that you make, it doesn't have to be such a large amount. And the power of compounding is amazing. We're going to cover it in a future episode. I just want to mention it now. You can see examples of it in the workbook. Suffice to say, you can turn $100 into $120,000 in 12 months, in theory. Now, that's a perfect world. The world doesn't work out that way a lot of the time, okay? But that is the math. Okay, like I say, everything in here is true, but I'm not making any income claims. Do people do it? Yes, they do. Do most people do it? No, they don't. It's not likely. However, when you're looking at being able to get to your freedom number, most people don't need 120,000 to get to their freedom number. So check out the workbook for that. We're gonna go and cover that in more detail. More importantly, you're going to want to know how to do it. So we have, one of the things I found to enable me to do that, I set a support group up. Okay, and we have some great people in there that have developed tools to be able to do that, trading something called Forex, foreign exchange. And I had preconceptions about that. It's a great way to compound your money though. Okay, we've boiled it down to as easy as I think we can make it. Is it guaranteed? No, you will have some losing trades, because again, that's the nature of the beast. It's just an understanding thing. But I can show you lots and lots of results of people that use what we do to do that successfully. Do you have to do this? No, you don't. You can still follow along with what we're doing. Okay, with this Retire in a Year revolution, you can definitely follow along and do other things. But again, future episodes, this is only episode 1. You are going to discover how you could do this, and we're going to show you how we can do this, especially on the YouTube, so you can see it visually in front of you. So Forex with a support group. Okay, now, and we have some special software and things. Right, now the other thing is, a lot of people, the two problems that always come up when people say they want to get involved and they want to start something, it's always time and money. They're always the things. I don't have the time, I'm too busy. And it's like, in our day and age, being too busy is almost worn like a badge of honor. And that's not what life is meant to be like, guys. You know, I don't understand how somebody can tell me that they're too busy to make the change because they hate their life right now. Okay, so again, everything we do here can be done on a short amount of time. But the other problem is money. We're going to show you, again, we'll go over it in more detail in future episodes, but there's it's alluded to in the workbook here where you can go and learn more about it. But we're going to take you through how you can use other people's money to fund your retirement, which is pretty sweet. Okay, so if you think about that just for a minute, you can fund your retirement on other people's money by learning how to multiply money. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. Part 5, we're going to talk about the one daily task. So retired people don't sit around in an armchair all day. I can't think of anything worse. Okay. They still have to look after their investments. They still maybe, you know, some retired people have part-time jobs or whatever. I've boiled it down to one daily task that can literally take a few minutes. And we're gonna talk you through that and how that works. Excuse me. Let's have a drink. You're going to have one daily task that literally can take minutes that's going to fund your retirement and keep you retired where you want to be. So that's part 5 of the workbook. Again, retireinayearrevolution.com. You go, you get the workbook sent to you at email. You can always unsubscribe if you don't want to get any more emails from me, but you want to go and grab the book. Okay. Then optional, completely optional. I got to a 6-figure income that is passive, completely passive, right? I could walk away from that now, and that income I would imagine would sustain for a couple of years, 3 years maybe, I don't know. Okay, but I have developed a full-time 6-figure passive income. You may or may not want to do that, okay, but I will talk you through what I do in future episodes upcoming. Like I say, this is just more of a, you know, get the workbook and you'll learn more about it. But I am happy to share with people what I do to get that. So not only have I found a way of multiplying money, I found a way of making money while I sleep or while I'm at the beach. I live in a place called just outside Bude in Cornwall in the UK. I'm surrounded by beaches and countryside. I can be on the beach and make money. Comes in every week, whether I work or not. Now, again, I do some stuff to maintain that, okay? But I'm happy to show you what I do to make that happen, okay? And it's nothing spammy or anything like that. So that's what we're doing there, okay? And then I'll give you a daily plan. Now, what I'm going to encourage you to do, guys, is get some sort of self-development. And again, as part of this podcast, I'm going to do book reviews, excuse me. And the first one is Miracle Equation, Hal Elrod. Hal Elrod, Miracle Equation. Again, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. There's a link to it on the Retiring Revolution website. I'm going to suggest you get an audio book. You listen to it while you're driving to work or while you're at home, whatever. If you read, grab hold of the book, make notes in it and scribble. Very good book. And again, I'll link to that. I'll link to that in the notes. I'm going to suggest you start now. I've been lucky enough to work with and meet and talk to some individuals that have achieved great success, and one guy in particular who's made millions. The common theme among them all is self-development, and I would have to say it's the biggest thing, in the biggest contributing factor to where I'm at today is definitely the self-development, the mindset, and especially once I passed my NLP qualification. Doing the neuro-linguistic programming is basically the science of success. It's how successful people achieve their outcomes. It's how they do it in their brain up here. I qualified in it so I could help other people. And guess what, guys? You are going to get that as part of this podcast, completely free. So hope that's whet your appetite. I hope you're going to go and grab the workbook. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until then, have a great day. Thanks for watching and or listening.